She is the Reality of Wrestling Diamonds Division champion. She also has other belts. She has Sabotage of War, War of the Genders Championship, New Texas Pro Women's Champion, VWR Vixens Champion. She trains at Reality of Wrestling. She is competing in West Coast Pro's Queen of the Indies tournament, which begins on May 13th, Saturday. That's on IWTV. She's facing Masha Slamovich, the GCW champion, another belt collector herself, in the first round. She is Hyan. Hyan, how you doing?
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Good. Oh, look at the Star Wars shirt, too.
Thank you. I actually got it for Christmas.
Nice.
First big question for you. Did you pick up Tears of the Kingdom?
I actually got an email yesterday from GameStop that they were shipping it over. So I should have it soon. Although this weekend's probably not the best weekend for me to have the game. I can't with all due respect, Masha, if I had Tears of the Kingdom with me, I don't think I could put a wrestling match together. So I think I'll probably get it in the mail by Monday or Tuesday.
Have you considered maybe just walking to the ring for your match with Masha while you're playing the game, just being like, hang on 1 second?
Honestly, I might. I don't think I could put it down.
That's fair.
When I got Breath of the Wild, there was a whole week straight where I just played it for 8 hours a day, straight, because I got it during pandemic.
Sorry. I was gonna say, so you're just a big Zelda fan.
Yeah, I actually have a Zelda tattoo.
Oh, killer.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. There you go. Interview's over. Good night.
Yeah, Joel was so excited. He's like, I'm just gonna ask about Zelda. I was like, okay. And then I'm pretty sure that's all I wanted to ask about.
No, don't worry.
I could have a whole combo on Zelda.
I'm sure we could.
Tell us about West Coast Pro and competing in the Queen of the Indies tournament, especially facing Masha Slamovich in the first round. Man, that's an Impact talent. She's also the GCW champion. It's a big match for the first round.
Yeah, I think it's I would say probably the biggest match of the first round. And I think if I take her out in the first round, I think that'd probably be the biggest upset of the tournament. However, she's an incredible competitor. I'm aware of, what she brings to the table, and I know what I bring to the table. And I think really, the fans are really winning in this one, because win or lose, it's going to be the best match of the card, in my opinion.
This isn't your first Queen tournament, right? Queen of the Indies is this weekend. You competed in RevPro's Queen of the Ring tournament in 2021. Made it all the way to the finals, lost to Mariah May. What's different this year? What do you bring to the table this year that maybe you learned from past tournaments that you competed in?
Well, I lost to Zoe Lucas, but honestly, Zoe had I always make fun of her for it. I was like, you had the easiest run in the tournament. Because she just was beating people up before they even got to the ring and just getting the quick pin. But I feel very well versed in tournaments at this point, because it's not even just facing who's in front of you, which people forget. You're wrestling however many matches. So yeah, you're going in there tired. You're going in there beat up. Your mind's not always in the great state because you just got finished with one match and now you're jumping into another one. You don't really have the time to fully assess your opponent, see their strengths and weaknesses. So although, we have some great competitors in there, that's a critical piece of information that gets lost during tournaments that people don't always think about. And that can always, Masha is a great competitor. Everyone there's a great competitor, but can they go 3-4 matches? Can they bring their best for 3 or 4 matches? That's really the big question. And I think that's what fans should keep in mind. Really, anyone can take it.
I know you've made a couple trips out to the West Coast, but I believe this is your first appearance for West Coast Pro, and Chris Hero is doing the matchmaking over there. So how did this, being part of this tournament come together? Because you were more, Texas area, East Coast stuff. So making the trip out to the West Coast, when I saw the name announced, I was like, oh, great get. A little surprised of just you don't make too many West Coast trips.
Yeah. Honestly, when I saw that West Coast announced Queen of the Indies tournament, I literally just was putting my name in the hat. I didn't really fully expect myself to be in the tournament. I was like, it would just be so cool to be there. And then they contacted me and I was like, hell yeah. It was kind of like an honor because it's not like a lot of spots available, you know, and for a show of that caliber, a tournament of that caliber with talent of that caliber, it's not just girls from the United States, it's girls from, you know, Mexico, Japan. It's full encompassing. So even to be in the tournament itself is an honor, and I think speaks to every woman in that tournament what they bring to it.
Okay. I gotta ask about the art of the no ring death match. How do you put something like that together, and like what makes you want to do something like that?
The no ring death match. Okay, so I did it because it was for charity. It was called, I believe, like Viva la Raza, and it was the proceeds of the show went to abolish ICE in Texas. So that's something that I was passionate about, like a cause that I could really get behind. And I was like, you know, I would take a light tube for that. Yes, I would do that. And so when they asked me about it, I was like, they're like, who would be like another person that you would be interested in or would be interested in doing something like this? And my mind went to like Diamante because she's very proud Latina, and I think like that calling would speak to her as well, and it did, and we had a lot of fun. I was so scared going into it because I've never taken a light tube before, and I asked a bunch of the guys, I was like, how does it feel? Like, does it hurt? Does it hurt? Does it hurt? They're all like, no, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. And when I hit the light tube, I could literally feel every crunch on my head. And a lot of people don't know this, but like I get very queasy with blood. Like not other people's blood, but like my blood will make me pass out. So I try to not do those kinds of matches very often because you do not want to see me pass out in the middle of the ring. But I did bleed a little bit, but I was surprised that I didn't get queasy. I was like, whoa, okay, I can keep going. But that's kind of how it came to be. I'm not opposed to doing another one, but it was a lot of fun, and I thought it was for a good cause.
If you take out the death match component, just make it no ring, you fight around the space that you're in. Is that something you would do again? Is that something that you found interesting, or are you more of a, you know, in the ring type of wrestler?
I would say I'm more of an in-ring type of wrestler. However, having no ring, I think that definitely makes you think harder on what you can and cannot do. Obviously, you can't be running the ropes, right? And professional wrestling is my creative outlet. So to be challenged to put some art together with no ring and figuring it out, it's very challenging. I would like that challenge to really put something together, because that would definitely, you know, fill my little artistic cup up.
How did the ROH appearances come about? Because you worked with them before everything shut down. You're part of Women Wednesday on ROH, and then back doing tapings, even the recent one in Orlando. And who contacted you for that, and how did those come about?
Yeah, like, to be honest, I didn't know that they were going to do Ring of Honor tapings. I didn't really know how it was going to work. And when I was contacted for it, I kind of didn't really know what it was about. So I kind of ignored the email because I was like, I didn't know. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I think my brain just opened the email and I was just like, oh, that's weird. And then I just kept going. And they emailed me again, like, hey, did you get the email? I was like, oh, crap, this is important. I'm an idiot. I literally gaslit myself. I was like, this isn't for me. And no, it was so much fun. Like, the energy in Orlando, like that, like studio taping environment is so cool. I feel like the crowd it's so much more intimate And I really feel like the crowd just really gets into the matches, and it was so much fun. It's honestly so much fun. I love doing it.
You did a little extra work with WWE. Speaking of emails that I hope you answered, it's 2016. You're facing Nia Jax. You're at home in Houston. What's going on with that? How did they come about, and how was it like working with Nia at a time when they were really starting to push her as this big up and coming talent?
It was so my trainer at the time, he was like, "Hey, have you been watching Raw lately?" And I was like, "Yeah, why do you ask?" And he's like, "Well, you notice Nia has been just beating up people, like extras and stuff. Would you want to do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd want to do it." But they're like, "Oh, you should contact WWE." I was like, "Yeah, let me just contact WWE. That sounds so easy, right?" And he's like, "No, here's an email. Message this email." So I sent this email out, and I really wasn't expecting to get anything back. It was just kind of like a shot in the dark. But they ended up contacting me, and I did the extra work. And one of the referees at the time that was running the extras, he kind of just lined us all up and was like, you, and you, come with me. And I wasn't selected. I was the only girl there, but I wasn't chosen. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not doing anything today. I go to catering, get myself like apple pie or something. As soon as I'm done eating the apple pie, naturally, that's when they come up to me and they go, "Oh yeah, we need you too." And I was like, dang it, I literally just stuffed my face. I wish I wouldn't have eaten. Yeah, and I talked to Nia, and it was super easy. It was a lot of fun. And it's a moment that will always stick with me because it's in the Toyota Center, which is, where all the events happen in Houston. It's in downtown Houston, which is in my hometown. And I remember I went out with the ref, like I think it was during a commercial break, and he goes, "Look at everyone up. This is a sold out crowd, and there's millions watching at home." And he said, "Just take it all in." And I thought it was super cool that he just kind of took that moment to tell me that, because he didn't have to do that. And it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And even if my career doesn't take me to WWE, I really do cherish that memory, because not a lot of people get that.
What are some of your goals when it comes to your career? You've done AEW work, done WWE extra work, enhancement work, done ROH. Like, you've wrestled on a lot of the top independent promotions. So what are your overall goals in wrestling?
Right now, I would say is getting to New Japan. That's really like a promotion that I've really been able to sink my teeth into when I'm watching it. I love that style of wrestling. And for the longest time, I didn't think it was a possibility, just because they weren't using women, right? If you wanted to do any kind of equivalent to that, it would just, go wrestle for a Joshi promotion. That would be kind of like the equivalent. But now they are utilizing women. They're utilizing the top and very best women in the world. And I want to be part of that. That's something that, is a huge bucket list item for me.
And you mentioned, they are, especially with the New Japan Strong, they got the big New Japan Strong women's tournament coming up. They are running more shows in America. So would it just be, okay, I'm here, New Japan America, or I believe you've been to Japan before, going over to Japan, working even like Stardom, or they're running women's matches, Joshi matches on the New Japan cards right now as well. So is it a little bit of both? Work a little in America, also go over to Japan and maybe work some big New Japan shows, or at least some Stardom shows?
I want to be the IWGP Women's Champion. That's the ultimate goal.
That's a great headline too. Goal. I appreciate that. I appreciate it when
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate when I get tossed easy headlines like that. I love it.
I was going to ask if there was someone in Japan that you really want to wrestle in that division, that women's division.
I think Mercedes Moné, like that's who everyone is like lining up to, wrestle against. So she's my ultimate opponent right now. I would love to get in the ring with Kyrie. I've trained with Athena before, and she told me how talented Kyrie is in the ring. She's like, watch her matches, you know, like pay attention. She's really good. And I would also love to get in the ring with her as well.
Talk to us about, sorry, you mentioned Kyrie, and she just sent out a tweet that, I don't know if anybody saw this. It looks like she's going through some stuff. So yes, best wishes to Kyrie. Sorry about that. Talk to us about the motion capture when it came to WWE 2K. It was like you, Lady Frost, Trisha Dora were all part of this. Like, how did that come together, and what was that experience like?
Oh, it was super cool. It's like it's so random, like wrestling and all of these things just kind of like opportunities sometimes just come out of like the blue. And when they come, you just have to go all in and take it. And that was kind of the same situation where I just got this email, or I actually got a text message, and I was like, I thought this was a scam. This is my natural reaction. I'm like, this isn't real to everything, I guess. But no, I ended up talking to some people, and they're like, no, like it's legit. I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, you know, you just go to a studio, they hook you up, they have, you know, these little nodes all over you. There was a lot of COVID testing, so you had to come in masked up, million tests during the day. And we did some stuff for like the My Rise and some entrances, some little cutscenes for the game. And it's fun because you get to be a character that's not you, right? So they're like, oh, go be Roxanne Perez. I said, got it, easy. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, especially when you're there with, you know, some really talented girls, and you can just chill and talk and get to know each other. And then when it's your turn, you go and you kill it.
You mentioned Roxanne Perez, as she is now in NXT. You two have a very storied history. You've teamed together. You worked against each other. You basically ran Reality of Wrestling together at one point, basically, you know, match-wise. Talk to me about working with Roxanne Perez. Clearly someone that WWE's gotten behind, and someone that you know very well in and hopefully out of the ring.
Yeah, no, I love Roxy. I've known her since she was 16 years old. And I've always looked at her as like my little sister. Like, I really do love that girl. She's like my little sister. She's my best friend. I've seen her, you know, go for a little baby to be the star that she is. So, and it's a lot of fun to see that. And I told her too, after I did like the motion capture for her entrance, it just felt like such a cool full circle moment that I actually like cried afterwards. Like, I teared up because I was just so happy for her. When she won the NXT women's title, I was like, holy crap, dude, that's it. Like, you're out here doing it, dude. And she's like, I know, like, this is crazy. And I remember her being, I asked her, I was like, how do you feel? And she goes, I'm just so overwhelmed right now. But I'm just so incredibly proud of her, not only because of how talented she is, but she's also a very humble human being, and she's a very kind human being. And like, she went off and, you know, to Florida and is doing her thing, but she very much still follows like the indies. And she'll tell me like, oh, I watched your match. It was so good. So I definitely miss her. I just want her to go to main roster so she can move back to Houston.
I have a good update on Kyrie, and I'm going to link it all back together with this interview as well. So this message that she sent is she wants to do more work in the United States, and it seems like she's putting names out there. She's putting feelers out there. And she says it's, you know, it's tough to maybe get matches and stuff. So I'm linking this back by saying she needs to come to the United States and wrestle you, whatever promotion it might be. So let's put that out in the universe. If Kyrie's going to make a tour of the United States, we need to get Kyrie against Hyan on whatever promotion is willing to book it.
Yeah, exactly. I just wrestled Miyu last night. Let's do it, girl.
What was that like? That I'm sure is a fun experience in some ways and a not so fun experience in other ways with the way she hits.
Oh, dude, it was so much fun. We were the main event, and it was for Texas Contenders. It was so hot in that building. It was so hot in that building. Usually I have like my hair down and I had my hair in braids in a match, which I typically don't do. I came out like Triple H, put water on my head. Like I was like, it's so hot. But dude, we killed it. We absolutely killed it. And if anyone has the time, watch it on IWTV because that's the match that I'm very, very proud of. I came to the back and it's so cool. When you go to the back and your peers are clapping for you. That doesn't happen every show. And I know who I share a locker room with and their standard for wrestling. And to come back and they're clapping, I'm like, God, we did something right. You know, we did something right. We had art out there. And I'm so proud of that.
Is there music or something that pumps you up before a match, a pre-match ritual that gets you going?
I actually, so I listen to my entrance music, but I use it like, I have it on my phone and I never listen to it like when I'm jamming out or like when I'm working out. I never listen to it because I never want it to lose its effect on me. So when before I go out, sometimes I'll just have my phone to my ear and it's literally just my entrance music. And people will see, I'll start pacing and I'll start huffing and puffing and just getting in the zone. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go.
We have a question here from our pal Kate. Was so happy to see and review Hyan's first ROH appearance or ROH appearance. Who is the best mini golfer in wrestling is the real question. Keep doing great work.
Oh, I'm not too sure. I didn't go mini golfing with the ROH crew because I had to wait for my ride. But everyone did go. So I'd have to ask like Frost and Trish. I was like, who's the best one, guys?
Speaking of people who hit hard, though, Athena, you've shared the ring with her. More recently, especially when she's become this version of Athena. What's it like working with her? In the ring, and then also kind of coming up together as well.
She's first of all, I don't think Athena gets enough credit for how talented she is. Not only is she has such a good wrestling mind and she watches all wrestling. Even when she was in WWE, she was following the independent. So she knew what was out there. And I don't think she gets enough credit for how insanely talented she is and how insanely athletic she is. Like that girl can move and her movements are so snappy. And that's not very common to have that kind of movement and body control. When I was getting ready to have like my first matches, she was already signed to WWE. And when I was training at Reality of Wrestling, her name would come up a lot because she was kind of like the big name that came out of that school. And I just wanted to be like her so badly. And she's kind of a role model to me or someone that I just see like, I love their career and I would love to have a career like hers. I think she deserves all her flowers, and getting in the ring with her was such a great experience because there's not a lot of women that you can get in the ring with and like truly learn from. And she's someone that you can learn from. So even if it's like a 5-minute match, 6-minute match, 10, 15, like I really think anyone who gets in the ring with her will walk away a better wrestler.
The only other question I have, and I was not sure if I wanted to ask this. You were in an 8-way match in Shimmer.
Yes.
How the hell do you navigate an 8-way match? We talked about the no ring, no ropes, the death match stuff, but now you're dealing with 7 other bodies. It's you, Leva Bates, Ali Rex, Brandy Lauren, Brittany Blake, Indy Hartwell, Shotzi Blackheart, and Veda Scott. People know these names, including yours. And how do you get through an 8-way match? 3-way, 4-way, that's normal. 8?
Yeah. Oh, God. It is so hard. Honestly, though, Shotzi's really, really good at putting together these like crazy scramble matches. So I think it was a situation where we all looked at Shotzi and we go, so what are we doing? And it's just kind of the situation when there's like so many people and time's limited, you just go, what's your best stuff? What's your best stuff? What's your best? Throw it in there. Throw it in there. Throw it in there. Who can dive? All right. You dive. You dive. Do you dive? And it was kind of like that. But it it was a lot. I think that was like Shimmer during Mania Week in New York, if I'm correct.
I think you are.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I remember that match specifically because like Indy came out to the ring and she comes and looks me dead in my eyes and she goes, "You're a bum." And I just started laughing. I was trying not to laugh because she was being a heel and she just looks at me, she goes, "You're a bum." And I just tried not to lose it.
Have you had other people try to do that to you, try to break you when you're like in the ring getting ready to start a match, like Indy just did?
Yeah, I've had people try to do that. I've done that with like with Roxy, with Rachel Rose. Well, this is a bunch of people, especially when people you're really comfortable with. I've actually popped some other people in the match. I remember I was in the ring with like Mysterious Q. We were wrestling at New Texas, and he grabbed me by my hair, and I went, "Bro, I have tracks." And he just goes, "Oh, my bad," and then chopped me. Or I remember, I think in that match too, he was like bent down, and I was like, "Now or never." So I just gave him a back chop. I didn't tell him I was going to do it. And he just looks at me and he goes, "Mm." So it's like, it's always when you're like in the ring with your friends, you can be a little bit more silly and just kind of, you don't have to worry. You could be more organic.
Love it.
More bagoon.
Yeah.
All right, last one. We mentioned the Star Wars shirt off the top of the show, so I just got to ask your favorite Star Wars movie.
Oh, so I really love Episode 3. Like, I know people are going to be like, "Oh, it's not the like original 3," but man, I really loved the prequels and the Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Disney Plus. Like that whole scene with Obi-Wan and Vader. I hope I'm not spoiling anything for y'all.
People in the chat are going to be very mad. And they're like, "No, why are you giving out Star Wars spoilers?"
I'm like, all right, guys, it's been out for a good amount of time now. That was really like, that was so good. I've been such a huge like Star Wars fan my whole life. Same with like wrestling.
Hyan, we appreciate you joining us today. Give people who want to support and follow, let them know where they can follow you at.
Yeah, I am at _the Hyan, so _THEHYAN on Twitter, and on Instagram, the Hyan, THEHYAN. Give me a follow.
Go. She'll be competing West Coast Pro Queen of the Indies May 13th. It's on IWTV. Everyone can head over to IWTV, subscribe if you are not already. Watch that show. She's facing Masha Slamovich in the first round. That's going to be a great match right there. Good luck. Best of luck against Masha Slamovich, another very intense person who take it easy on people. And again, thank you for joining us today, Hyan. Best of luck get in the tournament and all in your future as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys.